thanks for tuning in to the Crush It Trading Recap Show from Monday, October 7th, 2024. Crushed it today with $300, and I got to tell you, today was not a bad day to trade the Crush It Trade strategy. The strategy took place about 10 times on all the tickers, and you know what else I'm going to do? I'm going to go over the probability of winning the Crush It Trade strategy throughout the day on just the tickers that we trade, and I think you're going to like the results. But before I do me a favor and click the like button, and if you haven't subscribed right now, it'd be the perfect time to subscribe. Come trade with us Monday through Friday, absolutely free from 9:30 to 11 till the end of October. All right, the trade of the day was, there it is, Amazon for $300. Now, I got to tell you, this was a little bit of an ambiguous trade, and I'll get into that here shortly and tell you why. But for starters, I was thinking of a continuation setup here on Amazon because price was riding the Bollinger Bands nice and tight. It wasn't deep outside the Bollinger Bands. And on the one either, we were inside the Bollinger Bands. So I thought once we got to the 0.618 level here, we would get a continuation all the way down to the Crush It zone, which was about $1 move. Okay. My entry was right here on the 10 second. You can see how price moved back up, and we came up to these bottom wicking candles right here. And I thought, you know, that'd be a good entry. So I entered here, got a little bit of a late fill on it. Wasn't happy about it, but anyways, I stuck it out. Ended up scaling out at the bottom of the Crush It zone. And then I took a little bit more down here below the Crush It zone, and then ended up getting out, I think, on this impulsive move to the upside right here. And that was my trade. You know, $300, not bad. Didn't get the best fill. I wasn't going to hang out too long. I didn't want to get frustrated with it. We never did get down to the Crush It zone here, but that's okay. You know, that's okay. You're not going to win every single trade. I only take one trade a day, and, you know, that's what I got. Now, why was this an ambiguous trade? Well, first of all, I told you I was looking for a continuation of the downside based on what I had here on the smaller time frames, on the 5 and the 1. But if you look at the 1 hour chart up here, you can see that on the 1 hour, we were in the Crush It zone at the 50% area, and we were deep outside the Bollinger Bands, okay? And if you look at this, price always gravitates back to the inside of the bands, whether it's this candle or the next candle. You can see that price always works its way back. And so, therefore, I thought that price was going to get down to the bottom of the Bollinger Bands and the bottom of, outside the Bollinger Bands and to the bottom of the Crush It zone and make a nice move to the upside. So that's what I was banking on. I wanted to get it going down, and then I was going to grab it going up. But you know what? We never got down there, so I never got in the trade. But you can see eventually price did make it back into the Bollinger Bands there for like $1.30, I think it was roughly. So not a bad trade. All right, so now let's see where the Crush It trade strategy set up on the other tickers today right now. And here we go. Let's first look at AMD. Now, AMD had two setups off the Crush It zone. Now, let me set my criteria first. It's the same as Friday. We're going to take any trade for a bounce or some kind of reversal off of the near side of the Crush It zone, the dark orange line, okay? We don't care if price is outside the Bollinger Bands, inside the Bollinger Bands. The only criteria we have is price getting into the Crush It zone on the near side, okay? So here it is on the near side right here. Okay, and if we take our risk to reward right here and we just move it over here and say we got in at the Crush It zone and we got out at the 0.618 level right here, your first risk to reward ratio would have been 5.13. Your trailers you could have ridden up to probably about 9 roughly. And then the second trade right here at the Crush It zone, you could have had a risk to reward ratio of about the same. Okay. And then you could have actually ridden your trailers all the way up here, which is more along the lines of 24. So that's really good. So 24 and 5, you know, you're at about 30. Now, obviously, you're not going to get the whole move. So just for the sake of mathematics, let's just try to keep it down. So you'd have invested $200, $100 in each trade, and you would have had about a 30 risk to reward ratio, 24 and 5 roughly. Okay, so let's just keep track of that number. Now let's go over to Amazon. And you can see on Amazon the same thing. We got below the Crush It zone, and then we took the trade right here at the Crush It zone with a risk to reward ratio of, what was it, 4.56. Okay, and that's the 0.382 level right there. So that's 2 winning trades right away, or actually 3 winning trades right away off the bat. And then we have, just to be fair, I put in Meta. Meta is a losing trade. We would have gotten stopped out. Okay, so we have so far 3 winning trades and 1 losing trade. And you would have lost, you know, it's hard to tell, but the risk reward ratio here is 4.58. So, you know, probably about $20, $30 per contract, we'll say, on that, but very minimal, barely 10%, right? Not even. So a quick in our stop right here, if I can move this, is just the bottom of this wick right here. That's all it is right there. And easy in, easy out, right? So we got a losing trade on Meta. And then we have Microsoft. So if you got in on Microsoft right here at the crush it zone, same thing, risk to reward ratio right here is 11. Now 11 is obviously to the top side. Now you're not going to get the full move. And if you take it to the 0.618 level here, you're still looking at a risk reward ratio of about 3.56. So not bad. So let's just add these up real quick. The maximum. So we got 30, we got 35-ish, and then we have, we'll call that 30, we'll just call it 30. Well, let's move this one all the way up so we can see what the max was on it. So there we got about 10. So 45. Okay, we'll call it 45. Now we got one on Tesla right here. This is a 4.15 risk reward ratio. We'd got on that one, so we're up to about 40. And then we'd had another losing trade. Now we see you get the 50% of the zone right here. Now there is a signal right here that lets us know whether it's going to have a continuation to the downside or if we're going to have a bounce, pullback, reversal. And I'm not going to get into that right now, but we'll get into that in the show. So make sure you tune in live Monday through Friday from 9:30 to 11, and you can learn the difference between detecting the continuation versus the reversal or the bounce or the pullback, whatever that might be in the crush it zone. But just for the sake of today, we're only taking trades off of the near side of the crush it zone to the 0.618 and to the highs, okay? So we got 2 losing trades so far, and we have NVIDIA. We got 1 winning trade on NVIDIA, and we got 1 losing trade. Our first trade was a losing trade, and then our winning trade right here on NVIDIA, which is 3.59. Now, if we'd have taken the trailers all the way down, somewhere in here, we could have gotten about a 5.68. So there we go. We got about, about 35, 40-ish roughly in wins, and then we got a couple losses. So at the end of the day, what I really wanted to show you here is I lost track of where I was at here, but I'm going to guess we're at about 40. You would have lost maybe 10, 20% on the 2 losing trades or the 3 losing trades, maybe 10, 20, 30% at the most. But if you would have held all these winning trades right to the 0.618 and then start scaling out as price went up, look at the winning trades you'd have had today. I mean, you'd have been up, $4,000 on $100. So, if we just say, your winning trades were 40 to 1 risk reward ratio, for every $100, you'd be up $4,000. So if you had put in $500, right, 5 times 4, you'd be up $20,000 for the day. So not bad. And obviously, you're not going to get in on every trade, and you're not going to get in on the full move, right? You're not getting in on the full move, but I'm just using this as an example. So take 50% of that. So you maybe on the trades today, you might have come out, maybe about $2,500 to $10,000, depending on how you're managing your trades. The whole idea of this exercise is to show you that the crush it trade strategy actually works. If you put the time and effort into learning this strategy, I don't know that you're going to find anything else that's going to be more productive than this strategy. All right, that's all I really wanted to say. Hopefully you understand it, and if you don't, make sure you come trade with us Monday through Friday from 9:30 to 11 and learn this strategy. I promise you won't regret it. All right, take care. We'll see you bright and early tomorrow morning.